Yep, I am reviewing, if you couldn't tell, Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. Uh, it came out on the PlayStation Network probably about 2 weeks ago, and I remember playing it as a kid, and that was like almost a decade ago when I first played this game. Um, and I thought it was a decent game back then, so I decided to try it out. It's only $5.99, and I'm like, yeah, I can spend that money for a good old, PlayStation 1 classic. Um, so I finished it. I'm 100% on it. Let's jump right in to the review. Um, it is a PlayStation 1 game, so graphically on the PlayStation 3, you need to have smoothing turned on. Otherwise, it's iffy even still with that. But it's a memorable kind of cartoony kind of graphic kind of texturing going on. I mean, the game controls very well. Voice acting, although kind of iffy, uh, better than some of the stuff you might see in some older games. So let's get into the main tidbits of this game. Story. The plot, I think, is decent. Um, uh, the goals you have to reach, not that too difficult. I mean, some of the optional orb little mini games are downright insanely hard. But I managed, to complete it, so I'm not like the world's best video gamer out there. So I'm assuming any average gamer could do it. Bosses, definitely engaging. They get harder as you go along. You gotta kind of know what you're doing, otherwise you're probably gonna die. But I mean, I finished the game with like 46, 47 lives, 100% completion, all the orbs, all the gems. So for about 2 weeks of off and on gaming, not bad. It kept my attention. It had a nostalgia factor from the fact that I played it when I was younger. But anyways, I guess what I liked about it was the atmosphere of what I was doing. Like I said, the controls handled very well. Sometimes it was hard to control Spyro. I'm just saying that's bad. Back when the PS1 came out, or PSX, whatever you want to call it, or the PlayStation, the problem was, I think, the lack of technology. Now we have games with, motion control, and, everything's fine-tuned, but back then it's kind of a larger range of what could possibly, it wouldn't work as tight and as immediate response that, we would have nowadays. So controlling Spyro from time to time is definitely difficult. Some of the things you have to do are, if you don't time them right, you're not going to get it. But it's something I can overlook. Graphics, like I said, kind of outdated, kind of textured, kind of not really much used anymore. But it creates a very colorful world. I mean, it's fun to explore. It's fun to go around and do this, do this. It's not a bad game. On the graphical standpoint, it's kind of like, in my opinion, how Final Fantasy VII is. 7 has blocky Lego characters, but that doesn't make it a bad graphical game. It's just graphics that don't age well, and some people don't like those. If you're not a graphics whore, Spyro 2 is just fine. But definitely, for someone who's not, an adult, someone who may have never played this game before, for someone like a child, it would definitely be difficult to do what I ended up doing, which was 100% it. So I can definitely see some frustration back in the days, and even now if a child were to play it, how difficult it is to beat some things. But in terms of difficulty, it's not a difficult game. It's a fun game, I think. I had a lot of fun with it, and I wish that, I guess I wish that, you know, there was more. I mean, in the beginning, the first world you go to has a little bit here and there, a little bit to, you know, tide you over. The second world is by far the largest, and then the last world just feels kind of forced. And I kind of wish that they hadn't done that. I mean, the last world really is all about just getting whatever orbs you even want. I mean, you don't even have to do any of the worlds there, and I just feel that they just threw it in there for whatever. I wish you could have done more with the abilities. There's just a lot of things that in the end kind of started to fray, and they should have really bounded and finished like a big finish, as opposed to the finish that it had. After beating the game, which is something I don't think I ever managed to do when I was younger, you can go to where you had initially been going in the beginning of the game. I'm not going to say where. I mean, it's kind of a spoiler. But you get to do little extra mini games for fun, and you know, it's all well and good. So I guess what I'm saying is, graphically, it's dated, but it's fun to play. I mean, it's kind of cool to look at from time to time, and it's good in a older kind of style, old school kind of retro feel. Even though it's not that retro, it came out in what, 98, 99, something like that. Control scheme definitely has issues, but it's nothing that you can't get used to once you've played the game enough. Story, it's feasible, it's tolerable, but it's engaging, so that's good. In terms of difficulty, the mini games, a little extra stuff to get that 100% completion if you're a perfectionist like I am. It's there. You can go and do it. It might take you a lot of tries, some of them, but the reward of being able to be like, yes, finally got it, that feeling's there, for sure. So I guess that's why I think it's kind of a good thing that even though it's dated, it is difficult in some respects, that you get that feeling of achievement when you actually do something, and that's kind of rare to find nowadays. Kind of when we're oversaturated with trophies and achievements anyways. So it's good to go back to an old PS1 game and have that. It's a refreshing experience. So, like I said, Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, originally for the PlayStation, has been re-released on the PlayStation Network. You can get it on the PlayStation Store under PS1 Classics for $5.99. If I had to give it a score, I would give it a solid, I would go with 7.5 out of 10. Maybe an 8. Somewhere between 7.5 and 8 out of 10. And my recommendation is, it's $5.99, no tax whatsoever. That's the flat cut price. If you have access to it, pick it up, enjoy it. Considering that, like on Amazon.com, the original PS1 game is going for like $50, brand new. So $5.99 is a steal. And you should know by now from watching my reviews, if something is a steal, price-wise, why would you pay more? I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. It's on the PSN. That's the last time I'm going to say it. Go on and buy it. See you later.